Rick, thanks again for one more of these. These have been fun to do, and I appreciate it. I hope folks are getting to know you a little bit better as you get ready to step into your new role as CEO. I've been doing this for 17 years, and it's been a great joy for me. I really had no vision for CCHF coming in. It developed for me really sometime during the first year that I was the CEO, and began to kind of see what amazing work was being done around the country. And we've grown as an organization. And the reason that I've chosen this time to step down, I shared this at the last conference, is that CCHF is strong, it's growing, it's influential. I love that it's still under the radar. I love that we're not, people are still discovering CCHF and going, who knew that you guys were here? And why don't y'all do more? And it's like, we're doing what we need to do. I like to be known from the fruit that's being produced. But in this stage of growth, I'm just looking right now, and I'm seeing both an increase in need in our nation, and I believe a spiritual hunger among the next generation that's coming up, that want to not only find Christ, but to really pursue Him in this type of work. They're less interested in big speakers at conferences than they are in figuring out how to do and provide fruit. Like how to actually produce the fruit of the kingdom in real life and in real time. And I just see CCHF at a tipping point of growth that I have felt like needs a younger brain or different kind of gift than the one that I carry, to sort of imagine a structure and that would support the growth that I see CCHF having. And I'd like to just hear from you. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm sorry, this is a bit too long, but I'd like to just kind of hear from you what you see as potential for CCHF, because you're seeing it from a different perspective, but still an insider.
Yeah, I think I've had a pretty good view of CCHF for a number of years, but I acknowledge, like, one of the first things I've got to do is learn at a much deeper level now exactly where CCHF has been involved and what's been happening. And so that's why I'm really grateful for the board that you and I are going to overlap for a number of weeks or months. And because the thing I need to do first is hear and listen. I share your opinion. I think that this is sort of a inflection point in the culture and in medicine, and there's some really daunting challenges. And I think a lot of the clinics in our network, whether they're free and charitable clinics or whether they're FQHCs, like, everybody seems to be facing challenges as far as workforce development, for instance, some real financial pressures and changes that are tied to political outcomes and the way policy is formed and made. All of medicine, all of healthcare is sort of stretched and stressed, I think, and is looking for the new thing. We've been told for a long time that the way that healthcare is going to get paid for is changing, and we haven't really seen where that's going yet. So I think our biggest challenge is continuing to recruit people into our movement, and so appealing to a group of younger healthcare workers, healthcare professionals who sort of look at the world differently than people did before them, and who are looking at some unique challenges and differences. So I don't want to show all my cards too early, but I think in terms of three main things that I want to gather some of our community together to talk about, and one of them is recruiting people into the movement, and that's already, CCHF has already started to reach back down into the undergraduate level.
Yeah,
and I think that's really a great idea, and I think there's a lot of truth to the fact that people make their decisions early, and that overall pressures and sort of the socialization that happens in healthcare happens quickly. So, yeah, looking at connections with universities, especially universities where there are some of the same values that exist with CCHF and have. So that's important. I think there has to be a real recognition that we probably need to do a little bit better job in training leaders. That these organizations, all of them, if they get much beyond just getting together a couple times a week or a month, like there's healthcare is complicated, it's expensive, and it requires
Yeah.
leadership and training. And so I'd love it if we could really put our heads together and think through, even though there are some good resources out there, academic resources, like how do we train up chief medical officers and CEOs, and how do we tap into the huge reserve of female leadership that we have in the CCHF world and that exists in healthcare now? You know, how do we connect people who aren't necessarily already involved in Christian clinics, but are out there in the wider healthcare arena? So, yeah, leadership development is a big topic, and thirdly, and I'm sure that we'll stumble into some other things, like the work is hard. It's hard for everybody, but I think anyone who's been involved in trying to deliver healthcare to low-income people, whether it's domestically or overseas, it's easy to get burnt out. It's easy to get injured. It's easy to be disappointed. And so, what can we do to help people when they're injured or when they're slowing down? Are there things we can do to prevent some of those injuries? And so, I know that there's already people thinking about that and things that have been done to that end, but I think that's an area where maybe we just, again, want to get heads together and think about what CCHF could add to that conversation that's not already being spoken about.
I love all of that. I think I amen all of that. I hope that in some way I can continue to be helpful to you in some of that, but it just is affirming to me that this is the right time and this is a great choice. And so I'm very happy to pass the baton and hopefully a mantle to you.
What the double blessing, right? Elisha gets.
That's right. So
I have to see you carried off in a chariot, though. Maybe we don't want the double.
I don't know. That's not a bad way to go, I don't think, So anyway, hey, thanks again for this. And I'm looking forward to all of this unfolding in the coming months and years.
Great. Thank you. Enjoyed talking.